views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to Healthy Edge Radio with Amber Thiel. Living with power, passion, and purpose. Amber has dedicated her life to empowering women to honor and love their bodies. As founder of The Healthy Edge, she is now bringing her message to the airwaves. Tune in for breakthrough, empowerment, and education on how you can love your body, feel amazing, shift your mindset, and create real, lasting results. This is an opportunity for you to learn, grow, heal emotional blocks, and transform your lifestyle. Healthy Edge Radio starts now.
Wow. Hey, everybody. I get to co-host with Amber Thiel. For those of you out there, here's the thing I want you to know about this right now. You know, I get to have the most incredible journey. Why is that? Because as the host of the Dr. Pat Show and also Transformation Talk Radio founder, owner, I get to meet incredible people. And the minute that happens, we start to take a journey together. And what is that? What do I mean by start to take a journey together? Well, Amber has essentially captured this for today's show. She's a health and fitness expert, international speaker, and author, dedicated her life to empowering women to love their bodies, nourish their souls, and get real results that last. She's funny, she's passionate, she's educated in anatomy, biology, nutrition, and understands the phenomena of personal training with a purpose. But here's what this is about today. You know, she has had losses like many of us. And then she's had new things, rebirths, birthing itself. And what is it that we can learn about how to overcome our struggles? What happens when we experience loss at many, many levels? And how has she became that person, that healthy edge person for Healthy Edge Living, Healthy Edge Radio, that carries this message to say, I get it, you're not alone. And how about living with power, passion, and purpose? Today is the premiere show. The struggle is real. Amber, I'm telling you, lots been going on since we said yes.
Oh, dear. Struggle is so real.
Let's just before we really get into it, let's talk about meeting you, meeting Amber. And when we say the struggle is real, I had a mentor once, and I think I shared this with you, that said to me, Pat, you're not going to be able to take anyone to a place you haven't gone yourself. And at the time she had said that, I had never really been sick in my life. And so I didn't have a frame of reference of what it would be like to be chronically ill. 6 months after doing the show, chronically ill. Now, I'm not saying that I call that into being, but what I learned from that now checks that box off. What boxes have you checked off to be able to bring the conversation about the struggle of women to the table today?
Well, I definitely would not have ever thought in a gazillion years that I would be doing what I'm doing and where I'm at in life if somebody would have asked me. And so this journey has been difficult. It's been amazing. And it's been full of, like you said, loss. At 16, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And that was also the age that I started to realize that there was this perception in society about what beautiful is. And it was thin and having the perfect body and some things that I didn't possess, like a chest and, things like that. And just really becoming conscious about wanting to have my outer beauty so that it gave me worth on the inside. And 8 years later, at 23, my mom was basically went on to be with the Lord. And at 23, I also was engaged, and my fiance cheated on me about 6 months before my mom passed away. So along with the grief, there was this rejection on both levels, both losing my mom and with the man that I was with. And then from then on, I just spiraled down into just this pit. And what's really interesting, and I see this with so many women, is that on the outside, everybody would have considered me having it all together. I mean, physically, I was an athlete, so I was, pretty built. I had a bubbly personality. I was a teacher. I was a coach. I mean, I was on the outside completely together. And I lived by myself. And so in my isolation, I was struggling with bulimia. I was abusing laxatives. I was popping diet pills. I was excessively exercising. I was counting calories in my head, eating low-fat foods. I mean, everything was just this quest to hit a number on the scale. I really, really, truly thought that when I got to the place of beauty, which was for me this number and what I thought my body would look like at this number, that's when my life was going to start. That's when I was going to be happy. That's when I was going to be worthy. That's when a man was going to want to marry me. And this 5 years was full of alcohol, a lot of unhealthy relationships. Again, I was living a lot in isolation. I had 2 cats and I lived by myself. My sister said I was on my way to becoming a cat lady and really wanted love, and I wanted a family, and I wanted to make a difference, but I was spending so much energy obsessing, so much energy up in my head, so much energy about my physical body that I thought that was going to fix my life. And so at 28, I had a breakdown to have a breakthrough, which is usually how it happens. And luckily, that breakdown and breakthrough, it was spiritual, it was emotional, it was physical. It's not like I don't know this stuff. I mean, my background is in, education and health. I mean, I knew all this stuff. I just thought there was a shortcut. I just really thought that I could cheat the system, that there was an easier way or simpler way. But what I realized was I was taking the more difficult way. But thank the Lord, I was on the journey when I met my husband, because I would have never attracted a man like him in my cray 20, in my 20s. And
Right.
I went on this beautiful journey, and the journey was healing on the inside, dealing with my mom's death, dealing with the rejection, understanding why I eat, why I drink, why I obsess, why I control. And thank goodness my husband went on the journey with me. He also wanted to be healthy, but was doing some things that weren't so healthy. And so we just went on this great journey. And lo and behold, I got this opportunity as a trainer to meet other women that were in the same place that I had been, but they were 20 years older than I was, or they had 3 kids at home, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. And then as I talked to more women, I swear every woman I met, we'd end up crying together in a corner, because it was like, oh, somebody gets me. I thought that I was the only one. And so I really wanted to bring this topic to the forefront. So we opened up our home. We took over 200 women and their families through what would become the Healthy Edge program. And from there, we knew that this vision was bigger than our home. So we created an online program. We certified health coaches to use our system to help other people. And now 10 years later, and a baby and another business has started, like, we just keep adding more craziness into our life to, I guess, continue to, like you said, have the capacity to be able to connect with other people, because we too have been through it. We've been through all of it, and we still choose to be healthy mentally and physically and spiritually.
Well, isn't this really the case, though? Because, prior to you and I meeting, or even at the time of us meeting, right? So let's just talk about that. We had looked at, what do we want to do? How do we go about, you're a successful entrepreneur. You're a successful woman in every way. But since the time we met, life has changed. And I am really struck by how life has changed. So now, this is what's interesting. We'll talk about this later on the show. So now the platform of women that you are able to relate to has grown exponentially. I mean, when we start to look now at all the work you've done and now bring in the factor that you are a mom and now have an extended notion of what that means in life, so has your ripple effect and sphere of influence increased exponentially.
Oh, absolutely. Berlin, first of all, just being pregnant and actually birthing a child, which has always been a dream of mine. By the way, I know some people will think that's a weird dream to actually go through labor without any medication, but that was kind of one of my things. People want to run a marathon. I wanted to have a natural birth. And, you know, praise God, I did, which was great. But then she came along, and my perception of what I thought my life was going to be, the workouts, you know, eating right, all the stuff that I'd said on stage. And now I understand why I got a lot of the eye rolls from the moms in the audience. I'm like, I know about kids. My sisters have kids. My friends have kids. And, you know, this is how you do kids and healthy. And then living it, the exhaustion, the overwhelm, the guilt, the just emotions just in general. And then the breakdown in my marriage, you know, changing from having all the time in the world to be with each other and create businesses and have fun and, you know, do all these things to now taking care of a life together and trying to find space for each other and what that looks like and how we change like mentally and physically. I mean, you and I talked when I was just in it. I mean, I was in the swamp, just like, you know, plunging along. And I knew, as with any part of my journey, that it'll start to get better and I'll start to pull myself out. But thank goodness I had the tools of the Healthy Edge, like the mindset, and that I've been through this before, that I could apply it. But sometimes you just have to go through it. You know, you and I have talked about that. You just got to go through it. You want to get out of it, but this journey is part of the growth. It's part of the power. This is where all my strength has come from in my life, are been the deepest, you know, darkest moments where I just wanted to crawl in a hole and die. Like, that's where the strength was. It's not in the times that we're at the top of the hill. It's when we're in the valleys. And so, yes, my life is completely different now. My workouts look different. My eating looks different. My food prep looks different. Everything looks different, but it's the best place I've ever been in my life. The love. I mean, anybody who knows who's a mom, the love, oh my God, like I could cry just now thinking of it. It's just so amazing. And my life is so much fuller in so many different ways, not just time-wise and on, you know, all the ways I just talked about, but the fullness and the purpose. You know, so many women, they struggle with finding their purpose, and then you have a baby and you're like, bam, I know this is my purpose. You know, being a mom, you never have to think about it. You just know, like, this is part of my purpose. And then we grow out of the place in our life where our kids need us. And then we think like, oh, what am I supposed to do when I grow up? You know, and we struggle with finding our purpose. But being a mom, I've never been so certain about why I was put on this earth. Wow. That's been really special.
Well, and that's what we're going to talk about today. It doesn't mean that we cannot have a sense of why, you know, amazing things happen, things that happen that are not so amazing. But what is it we have to learn and understand? What do we have to learn and understand is ours to do. When we come back, what if I said to all y'all, it's not about the weight, but maybe it is. It's not about the weight. WEIGHT. 1-800-930-2819. Do you have a question for Amber today? When we come back, you know, let's talk about the weight. Yeah. Are you feeling it a little bit? And what is it about our culture that wants to make it about the weight? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Baby, I'm playing on you tonight. Hunt you down, eat you alive. Just like animals, like animals most. Maybe you think that you can.
Now you can be a part of one of the most powerful programs to help create a more joyful, loving, abundant, and peaceful world. Every day at 12 noon in any time zone, join millions of other people around the world to spend a few minutes in joy, love, and gratitude. Brought to you by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. Together, we can raise the vibration of the planet. For more information, visit globalmomentofjoy.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet, welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Discover the healing medicine from the giant monkey tree frog Cambo. Cambo practitioner Ginny Rutherford and professional psychic Todd Rolson have come together for lively discussions of alternative healing medicines from the Amazon. Ginny and Todd bring you Cambo Talk Radio. Tune in each Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear from guests all over the world with real life stories and the medicinal benefits of Cambo. For more information, visit cambokiss.com.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down, Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Amber Thiel, founder of The Healthy Edge, is bringing you the hit show Healthy Edge Radio, living with power, passion, and purpose. Amber provides the support and tools necessary for you to finally release the weight and emotions that are hidden beneath the weight. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information on how you can take the next step with Amber, visit getthehealthyedge.com.
You can pretend it's meant to be, but you can't stay away from me. I can still hear you making that sound, taking me down, rolling on the ground. You can pretend that it was me, but no.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm so thrilled to be co-hosting here with my friend, my colleague, Amber Thiel. Guess what? Healthy Edge Radio. Listen, before we jump into it's not about the weight, but it really is about the weight. WEIGHT, weight, better known as LBS's, pounds. Amber, before we jump into this, because we're going to get going here, and then we're going to forget about time. How can people find out more about you? But you've also created opportunities and giveaways and so many things for people. Can you give us some information, please? Got a challenge, too.
Yeah, we have a challenge coming up, which probably is the easiest way to find out what we're about, because within the challenge, I share so much about this mindset that I keep talking about, and about, simple how-tos that are realistic for people. And the challenges are just such a great introduction to shifting your mindset and starting to uncover the weight, which we're going to talk about, both physically and emotionally. And so at healthyedgeradio.com, I have that going to a 10-day challenge that we have coming up here in September. And it's a completely free challenge, and it's all about clean eating, which is a buzzword many of you have probably heard about. But clean eating is just really eating more whole foods. And so I love in these challenges because, yes, it's about eating the whole foods, but it's also about the mindset that needs to go along with it, so that after the 10-day challenge, you just don't revert back to where you were before the challenge. The challenge really is designed to take you to your next best level. And so we have over 40 recipes. I'm actually, for the first time ever, hosting a 2-hour food prep workshop where you actually join me in my kitchen. I give you a grocery list and a pantry list, and together we are going to create a whole bunch of clean recipes to get you started in the challenge. And we're going to do all that in under 2 hours. So I'm adding that to the challenge. And we have a great private community where you can interact with myself and other health coaches and people from around the world. So that's a super, super easy way to just dive in. We're going to talk about progress, not perfection. You don't have to be perfect doing this. If you're really nervous about doing any type of challenge, because Amber, I always quit. This is the perfect challenge for you because I address all of that and those fears that you have about doing it perfectly or right, or having your family be on board. So healthyedgeradio.com is where you can go to learn more about that. And you can also visit me at my website at amberthiel.com, and you can find out more about what we do at the Healthy Edge and reach out to me and that type of thing on that website.
Yeah. And by the way, we're going to make sure that all of y'all know a lot about this moving forward, because this idea of knowing how to work with someone and getting support as opposed to doing things alone are super, super important. And as a matter of fact, I was talking with someone the other day about this who really does struggle from time to time with food. And I shared the story of my sister dying on a hospital floor at 450 pounds. And there's nothing sadder than to watch that. But the reason that you and I are talking about this today is because my sister did not have the kind of tools that are available through what you do. And this is really the game changer. So let's talk about the weight. It's not about the weight, but it may be about the weight. And what I mean by that is it's not about the weight in terms of how many pounds, but it might be about the weight we carry on our shoulders, on our consciousness, and in our emotions, right?
Exactly. Yes, we want it to be about the weight because then we can focus on the outside. We can keep everything external. We can look at a number on the scale. We can focus on what we put or don't put in our mouths. And so it makes it very superficial. It's not deep. It doesn't hurt. I mean, obviously it's miserable for those of you that have done diets and have felt deprived, but it keeps it on the outside. And as long as that journey is on the outside, you are basically going to be destined to spend a life gaining and losing the same pounds, 5, 10, 20, 50 pounds over and over and over again. Or you're going to spend your entire life maybe staying close to the same number, but feeling obsessed, feeling in bondage, feeling like everything has to be controlled. And if you lose control, then you're going to lose that number. And so the weight on the inside is what manifests the weight on the outside. That's what drives our behaviors. It's the stuff on the inside that we haven't dealt with, the stuff on the inside, the fear of rejection, the fear of failure, the feeling that we're not good enough, the feeling that we want to hide, that we don't want to be seen. I mean, all of this stuff is why we emotionally eat, why we sit on the couch and instead of having a conversation with our husband, we want to drink wine and eat chocolate. It's why we go through the drive-through instead of, going home and making a meal for our family because we don't want to hear our kids complain about healthy food because we don't think we're a good mom when our kids aren't happy. I mean, it's this kind of stuff that drives the behavior. So we eat too much, we drink too much, we skip workouts, we tell ourselves we don't like to work out, we do all of these things, we don't get enough sleep, we do all these things. And then the weight manifests. Yeah. The bags for our eyes, the fact that we're only pooping once a week, the fact that we don't sleep well. These are just results of what's going on the inside. But what's driving our behaviors are those empty pockets and those unhealed places and the things that we're trying to stuff down with food and alcohol and other things. That's what gets us to the weight. And so until we address that, then the journey will never be over. We'll never feel free. We'll always feel like we're battling something.
Because what we're not really addressing is the real problem, and what I mean by that is that, we know that if I am feeling not so good, let's say I'm feeling sad, and I go eat something that I know that I'm not supposed to eat, I get an instant gratification for a short period of time. And then it turns into a pattern. Then it turns into a habit. Then it turns into an obsession. And so what I hear you saying is we have to start at the root. We have to start where we have a sense of what the driver is. Isn't that part of the work that you do to help people understand that and then change it?
Absolutely. So it's the beliefs, and many people have heard the term belief systems. Belief systems come from somewhere. We formulate them, we take them on. A lot of times we didn't consciously choose those belief systems, but they become truth to us, just like your hand is attached to your arm. People believe that their truth is hardcore fact, and it's just not true. It's just what you have chosen to accept as truth. So this comes from our parents. Most of us can admit that our parents messed us up. I can admit that my parents messed me up. And so they come from our parents, they come from the media, they come from friends, the circle of friends that we hang around, just the society we live in, just viewing the world around us. And these beliefs start to drive us. And from a very young age, we can have a belief that we don't want to be seen. I see a lot of women who have had sexual abuse in their life. So many. It's astronomical, the number of women that we work with that this topic comes up. And so when that happened, they had to make up a belief in order to survive that. So it could have been, if I'm not seen, then a man won't touch me, or this will never happen again. So sometimes the weight is a manifestation to hide themselves.
Yeah.
And that could be the truth. There could be a manifestation of maybe the only way that a man will want me is if it's physical. So that person may grow up obsessed and, kind of like where I was at. I was sexually abused at a very young age. And for me, I thought men only liked physical. Like that's how I was going to get the attention, was physical. I never had a person at a very young age give me affection because I was, super smart or like really fun to be around. And so I really thought that the perfect body was going to attract the man. So two same things happen to two women, and two different beliefs are formed. And those two, one, someone's overweight. The other one, someone's maybe thin and muscular and completely obsessed. So it's understanding that these things have happened. It's not right or not, it's not wrong, but understanding what belief did you form when that happened. A lot of women get divorced. So they make up a story about whether or not they're worthy of love, and some women make up stories about men. All men are dogs, all men are going to hurt. And so all these belief systems manifest themselves. They become true, and we start to create a reality around these belief systems. Some people have never, ever been in a household where there was healthy food or exercise. So they don't even have a concept of what it means to be healthy. So their belief is, well, this is just how it is. We eat fast food, and you order pizza on Fridays, and you do takeout, teriyaki on Saturdays. And so there's just this belief. And so it can feel very hard to do something different, but we have to understand that these are the things driving. And if we don't address those and break them down, and sometimes it does hurt. One of my famous sayings is, if you want to understand why you eat, and I know we're going to talk about more about this in the emotional eating series segment, is like, don't eat your feelings for a week. What if you didn't eat your feelings for a week? People would be, I'm going to cry. I'm going to hit something. So what? So cry. So take a walk. So like whatever, we think we're going to die if we feel those feelings. That's what I thought for me. If I felt the loss of my mom, I seriously thought that I would spiral into a deep, dark pit that I would never be able to get myself out of. I had a belief around that. I told myself that. And until I shifted that belief and chose to do something and choose something different, when I did go to that place, yes, it hurt. Yes, I was sad. Yes, I cried. Yes, it was emotional. But that was where the power was. That's where all my strength came from. That's where the healing came from. Then I didn't need to drink anymore to cover up sadness. Because
Well, part of this too, though, is, and we're going to talk about this when we come back from break, is we have some of these beliefs that we don't even know we have because we're told they're normal to have. What is the number one belief that happens to women that is totally reinforced by society, that is absolutely become normal? Let's take a short break. And by the way, you can actually buy something to fix it. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about, look, let's get the emotions moving and let's see what we can do. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What do you mean? When you nod your head yes.
Hi, this is Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio. Sometimes you hear encouraging messages like transform your life now, become empowered, create the life you crave, and it all seems overwhelming and you're not sure where to start. I'm here to tell you that self-improvement is not always fun and easy, but it is always worth it. The path to creating positive changes begins with releasing the things that have been holding you back. Then you can create a life that inspires you. I know this because I've done it. You can find out more about what I do by visiting my website, seattlehealinghypnosis.com. I look forward to supporting you on your journey.
Tune in each month to Synergenetic Living Radio, where Rick and Grace Paris discuss the synergenetic way of life, what it means to truly change your perspective in life, what it means to take control of your life and manifest your true desires. For more information on Rick and Grace Paris and Synergenetic Living, check out synergeneticliving.com. Get clear on the life you desire and the current life you are creating and what is between the two. Synergenetic Living, living life loud.
Discover the healing medicine from the giant monkey tree frog Cambo. Cambo practitioner Ginny Rutherford and professional psychic Todd Rolson have come together for lively discussions of alternative healing medicines from the Amazon. Ginny and Todd bring you Cambo Talk Radio. Tune in each Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear from guests all over the world with real life stories and the medicinal benefits of Cambo. For more information, visit cambokiss.com.
Known for his keen sense of humor, contagious smile, and extensive esoteric wisdom, EJ translates deep spiritual wisdom into practical advice to empower you to live your happiest, most fulfilled experience. Mystic Living Radio, Deep Spiritual Wisdom, Practical Advice with EJ, Eliyahu Jihan. This hit show delivers profound experiences for all who want to live life to their deepest desires. Tune in monthly for Mystic Living Radio. Learn more by visiting vitaltransformation.org.
Isn't it time to put your health first? To give yourself the gift of whole body wellness? What if embracing unconditional love and self-care was the first step to wellness? Could you honor that for yourself? My name is Audrey Michelle, host of Rewired Life Radio and the author of Rewired Life, A Journey to Untangle Chronic Pain and Endometriosis. In my book, I share how I healed from 17 years of chronic pain and disease. Get your signed copy at audreymichelle.com/book, spelled MICHEL.com/book.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Amber, before we just get rolling again here, please tell us how people can find out more about how to work with you directly as well as the challenge.
So at the Healthy Edge, we want women to love their bodies and actually learn how to be empowered in their own life and create a lifestyle that works for them. So we do help women one-on-one or in group programs. We also have an online program that they can do completely by themselves. You can see all the different things that we offer in terms of that at amberthiel.com. That's where you can read more about my story and just everything that we do. Now, the challenge is really an opportunity to get your feet wet. I mean, if you want to dive in and see what we're all about and, learn some just incredible ways to think and be healthy, we have a 10-day clean eating challenge coming up. This is by far our most popular challenge. We do 4 challenges a year, and this by far is the most popular challenge we do. We give so many free things away, so many great recipes. I'm adding in a 2-hour food prep workshop. I give you a grocery list, pantry list. You join me from your kitchen to my kitchen. Together we prep food to get you ready for the challenge. All of this is free. I give you guides, daily videos, a private Facebook group. You get to interact with me and my health coaches, ask us questions. We laugh together, cry together. It's just a really great experience. And you can join that, or at least read more about it, at healthyedgeradio.com. And we're opening this challenge up for the first group of people is actually who's listening to this radio show, because the challenge doesn't start till September. So you can get signed up for that. We got a lot of great stuff happening before the challenge even happens. So those are 2 ways that you can just learn more about what we do and take a step forward in your health.
So is it amberteal.com for which?
So amberteal.com would be just to learn more about what we do at the Healthy Edge and our lifestyle program, and those types of things. If you're interested specifically in the challenge, because we haven't yet made the challenge live on amberteal.com, but it will be here in about a week. You can go directly to healthyedgeradio.com. So that's just
perfect.
Just
perfect.
for you.
Yeah, and let me make sure I spell this for those of you listening, because it is radio. When you think about Amber Thiel, you probably want to spell it a certain way. Let me get it to you. Amber, AmberThiel.com, amberteal.com. Okay. Listen, all right, this is where we're going now. We're talking about the solutions, but we're also talking what beliefs would end the struggle. Before the break, here's what I said. I said, my opinion only, that I thought there is a number one belief that women start to cultivate early in life that I think is a showstopper. Now, it's not the only one, and I know you're going to talk about these. But it is the one that says, you know what? All y'all out there, you feeling me right now? Fill in the blank. You know, Amber, I'm just too old to ... And by the way, because of my age, I think that these 5 pounds that are happening, my body's changing. And by the way, I'm 35. So, can you see how our culture literally fuels and feeds the notion of aging as a belief that they want us to take on for being less than we were when we were younger?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I see that a lot. The menopause story, the kid story, probably the number one thing. Well, ever since I had kids, they just destroyed my body. A lot of blame on the kiddos. Getting married. Oh, once I got married, I let myself go. And so there is these things that we say to ourselves, and that you probably have heard others say out loud, but that you're probably saying out loud. Circumstances that kind of became that point where you just gave yourself permission to be less than your best. And here's the thing, Dr. Pat, that I want to make sure that all women understand. This is not about having the perfect body. This is not about being a size 2. It is not about being 15% body fat or 12% or whatever. This is about being happy with you. So if being happy with you is, being 160, 180 pounds, for us, we don't do the scale, but if that's what it is for you, it's finding where you love yourself and where you're at. And that, for many people, they've never really thought about. If you're a mom and instead of working out 6 times a week before the kids, you work out 3 times a week, and your body, you're like, for 3 kids, I look pretty good. I feel pretty good. I've got a pretty balanced life. Great for you. That's amazing. But if you have 3 kids and every time you look in the mirror, you are disgusted, you're shameful, you're guilty, you dread going into your closet to put on clothes, You don't want to go to date night because you don't want to go out in public because you feel like you're being judged if you order the chimichanga and have a margarita. Like if those things are going through your head, then you're in bondage. Then you are not the healthiest you should be. It's not about what your body looks like. It's about whatever your body looks like. You love it. You own it. You feel energized. You feel confident. That, my friend, is your healthy body. And it could look way different than what your 20-year-old body looked like. But you own it. And so many women are in that space. They spend their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s not being happy in their own body. And they've accepted, oh, it's just because of this. Oh, because I'm 50. Oh, because I do this or because of that. And that is where we give ourselves permission to be unhappy. We give ourselves permission to be exhausted. We give ourselves permission to not have confidence. Then we're not being intimate with our husbands because we're disgusted with ourselves. And our husbands just want to be close to us. And they really do think that we're beautiful, but because we don't believe we're beautiful, then our marriage suffers. I mean, this just goes on and on and on.
Oh, yeah.
Our kids look at us and they can tell that we're not happy, and they can tell that we don't have the energy to play with them or to be patient with them. And then they grow up and they repeat the same pattern. I mean, ladies, this is powerful. This is not about the scale. It's not about the size of clothes. It's about, are you the healthiest version of yourself? And have you allowed the excuses of life and circumstances to give you permission to not love where you're at and to be confident in the space that you're at?
Well, let's talk about the notion that, for many people listening to this today, they're thinking, you know what, you're right, but I don't even know where to start. And that's part of the conversation we're having today, because there are starting points, there are places to start. And when you work with people, there is an amazing slew of resources available that you provide, and courses and so forth and so on. And so this is what's really different, I think, in this arena now, is that it used to be, women had to suck it up and go it alone. And if you were lucky enough to make that happen in the way you wanted it to happen, then there you went. But that really never worked in the past. And we have evidence about that, don't we?
Greatness never happens in isolation, ever. And it's so easy to do things in isolation because then if you quit or you fail, there's no judgment. And so a lot of times the fear of being judged or of failing or succeeding keep us wanting to keep things private. Like, oh, I'll just keep this a secret and try to lose the weight. Then once I lose the weight, then everyone will see that I lose the weight. But the problem is that you never get to lose the weight because you never get the right support around you. And so at the Healthy Edge, we want to open up this conversation. We want to give women a platform to understand and to voice their struggle. We're all in it together. I'm in it. I haven't arrived anywhere. I mean, I told you before the show, I got mom hair. I haven't showered in 2 days. Like, I got a workout in yesterday, but I didn't. But there's things that I do every day in my life that keep me making progress forward, never backwards. I don't ever feel like I'm stagnant or going backwards in my health. I always feel like I'm making progress. And that's because I have simple things that I do every day that anyone can do, even if you have kids and a job and, responsibilities that you feel make it impossible. And that, that's a conversation that needs to happen as well. But first, it's bringing a voice to that struggle inside of you, the unhappiness, that women have. They want to have more in life with their health and their body, and it's not just how it looks physically. It's because we're just better people when we feel good about ourselves. We're just better people.
Yeah.
Really,
well, we're going to go ahead and skip the break because I want to talk about, the idea of the physical nature of this, right, as well. There are a lot of different beliefs, and we talked about some of them, and, we're planning an entire series for our audience here. Part of this is also looking at what we tell ourselves belief-wise about the physical nature of what we can and cannot do. And so I want to talk with you about this idea of the physical solutions to things, because there are beliefs that say, you know what? I'm just going to go through this pregnancy and I'm going to be miserable the entire time. My body is going to be, in a place where I'm not going to be able to do anything. And then, I'm going to have my child. And then for the next 6 months, I'm not going to be able to do anything. I mean, we tell ourselves things like that, or we tell ourselves, I'm going to have the most incredible pregnancy on the planet. Yes, there may be challenges. I will overcome them. It's going to be with ease and grace. I'm setting up support systems. Now, we do the same thing with physical nature of who we are. I just don't have time to change my body. I just don't have time to move. I'm just going to have this one half a pie this one time. Mm-hmm. How can you help us with this?
Monday. I'll start on Monday. The Monday syndrome that starts on, you say it on Tuesday. Oh man, I blew it. I'll start on Monday. I'll start when life slows down. I'll start when the kids go back to school, and we keep putting it off and putting off. And it actually makes us feel like we have purpose. Like, oh yes, we get fired up for the future start date. We always get fired up for the future start date. That's why diets are so alluring to people, because it's like, oh, and when I start this, like, this is going to fix me. This is going to do it. So we live in this constant up and down of emotions, like, oh yeah, okay, now I'm going to do it. And we go all in. And there's this belief system around all or nothing. Like women, yeah, they may make all these excuses, but then when they decide to change, it's like this all or nothing that is completely impossible to actually do, because perfection is the lowest standard because it's impossible. So we set this standard of perfection, which is never going to happen. And as soon as we blow it, we say, oh, see, I told myself I couldn't do that. Oh, see, I told myself I didn't have times. Oh, see, I told myself that, this just wasn't meant for me or whatever. And so I don't even know if I'm answering your questions, Dr. Pat.
No, you absolutely did, because the bottom line is, tomorrow, I'll get to it tomorrow. And the bottom line is, listen, we all tell ourselves stories. The stories start out as stories. They start out as thoughts. Then they turn into beliefs. Then they become the story of our lives. The one where we tell ourselves, Amber, this idea that I will never be able to feel the way I did when I was, quote, that or then. And we have got to start by getting at what the patterns of emotional eating are, which we're going to talk about in a future show, but more importantly, what can we change today? See, we can do some simple changes today. Mm-hmm. But yet we believe, oh my gosh, we're going to have to do this, do that, don't do this, don't. But this is really a show about immediate change and immediate results, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And the first place that I encourage all of our clients to start is listen to your dialogue and just become aware of what you say and what you think. And if you're a journaler, which not everybody is, you could even do this on your phone. Just write down some of the beliefs that you hear yourself saying that is manifesting, helping to manifest some of the unhealthiness in your life, the things that you're unhappy about, whether it's your weight or your energy or whatever. And so just start becoming aware, because until you have awareness, you cannot make anything change. Like if you're not aware of it, then obviously there's no place for us to start. So the awareness becomes powerful, because then you'll start to become sensitive to it. You'll go, oh my gosh, there it is again. Oh my gosh, there it is again. So that's a great place to start, as awareness. The second place I would say, and this is by far my number one tip in my life that I immediately implemented when I was 28, I'm 39 now. This has always been true for me, is to create a safe environment. And when I say safe environment, it can be physical and emotional. physically for me, because I come from a past of bulimia, I am not bulimic. I don't identify myself with that. In the past, I struggled with it. It's not who I am. I don't take on that identity, which I would encourage you to become aware. If you identify with, like, I am an alcoholic, I am an emotional eater, you are basically tying your identity and you will live that identity. So that's something to become aware of. But for me, keeping a safe environment means the foods that I don't want to indulge in, or I do want to indulge in, but afterwards I feel horrible about, and I feel guilty and I want to punch myself because I told myself I wasn't going to do that. They don't make it into my home.
Yeah.
So I don't have bottles of wine. I don't have, tubs of ice cream. I don't have cookies and candies, like all the things that tempt me, whether it's pasta, loaves of bread. I don't know what it is for you, but if it's in your environment, then you are going to depend on willpower to talk yourself out of eating it.
Yeah.
But eventually you're going to want to be comforted. You're going to be feeling lonely. You're going to be bored. You're going to be starving, and you're going to go to those foods. And those foods are just inanimate objects. You're choosing them. There's a reason why you're choosing them. And that's what we dive into at the Healthy Edge. But if they're not there, you know what? You may be ticked off. Like, there are times that I'm ticked off that I don't have ice cream in the freezer. But then I get to actually deal with the real reason why I'm grabbing the ice cream. Now, having said that, a safe environment does not mean that you never indulge.
Right.
So if I do want to have something, I will bring home a bottle of wine, and my husband and I will enjoy it on a Friday night. My husband owns a gluten-free brewery, so he brings home beer, and on a Saturday, we'll have a beer together or whatever. And so there's room for all the indulgences. But when it's in your environment all the time, constantly there, waiting to comfort you, waiting to, tantalize your palate, you're going to fail. And we fail over and over and over again. And then we watch our kids fail. We watch our kids snack right after coming home from school, or snack right after they just had dinner. And you get so upset. Put the chips away. Put the cookies away. You brought those in.
Yeah, exactly.
Environment. If you're sick, why even have the temptation? You don't put alcohol around an alcoholic. You don't put cigarettes around someone who's trying to quit smoking. It's about creating that safe environment, and your home can be that place. You can go out to eat. You can bring things in moderation, but to just have it as a free-for-all, that's like the number one tip that right now can change your whole pattern. The things that you grab at night that you know aren't good for you, that you feel guilty about, get them out of your house. And you're going to be really upset with me about it for the first few times. And then you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is a miracle. You're going to wake up the next morning feeling like a rock star, having belief in yourself that you never had before, that you didn't indulge. And it was because it wasn't there.
Yeah. And, let's make sure we mention that we are going to be doing various shows all along the way. That literally go through and help people identify what we're talking about, and more importantly, take some action. And this is all parallel with all the programs you're doing, the opportunities, the challenge, and much more.
Yes, I'm really excited to bring the elements that is really the foundation of what we do at the Healthy Edge, what we call Healthy Edge living, bringing those foundational pieces here. And we've started it. It's about awareness. This first part is just about being aware that it's about the weight, but it's not about the weight, and really understanding that, wow, it is so much deeper than the diet. It is deeper than the scale, and starting to bring some of that awareness to your life so that you can make some shifts that can be lifelong.
And what I want to say to you is 10-day clean eating challenge begins September 18th, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And they can go to healthyedgeradio.com for that.
That's right. It's only open right now to the listeners to join. So we've opened it early for you. So healthyedgeradio.com. Get signed up for the challenge. We'll be giving you emails leading up to the challenge and invite you to the private Facebook group where you can immediately start interacting with myself and other health coaches.
Okay. So here's what we want to do. Let's get going. Let's move forward. Let's create the change. Break the patterns of our history, our legacy, our past, our situation, and let's do it together. Amber, thank you for today. One last question. What is your personal message? We are going to be doing an entire 12 plus series with Amber Rather. See, my brain is already focused on one of the people that I'm getting ready to text to sign up for your clean eating challenge. So I'm already responding to texts I'm getting about the show. And they're like, my friend Heather's like, oh my God, where do I sign up? So get ready, Heather, get ready to work with Amber. So listen, personal message. How can we help people?
How can we help people? I believe that as women, we need to start talking to each other instead of judging each other, looking at each other and seeing what's better on the other woman versus ourselves, or worse on the other woman versus ourselves. That together as women, we need to come together and understand that the struggle is real. There is a perception of perfection. There's a perception of acting like we have it all together, sacrificing ourselves for others, and we can still be powerful women, great mothers, successful business owners, great lovers, passionate wives. We can have all these things, but we first have to identify what we're struggling with and open up that dialogue and realize that we're never going to get to the place that we need to be by ourselves. Having the support of other people, implementing ideas from other people, having somebody else believe in us when we doubt ourselves, listening to somebody else's struggle that maybe is worse than ours and makes us feel better about our life, or helping another woman up the mountain. And I just really believe that it's time for us women to band together, stop judging each other, and come together and make it happen so that not just we can live our abundant life, but the next generation can. Because we're passing all of this on to the little precious eyes that are watching us. And someday they're going to raise their children. And the only way to change generations.
You've been listening to Healthy Edge Radio with Amber Thiel, living with power, passion, and purpose. If you've missed any part of this show, you can download the podcast at getthehealthyedge.com. Tune in live each month as Amber Thiel, founder of The Healthy Edge, joins Dr. Pat to create amazing conversations that will empower and inspire.